Hey everyone, it's Jeremy, and welcome back to turn 39 of Pokemon Gold, where we are playing Cyanwood City. Let's go ahead and jump into the turn. A whole bunch of stuff going on. As we have been, these turns are pretty thick. I'm trying to keep them around 30 minutes, but we'll see how it goes. So, we've got a couple of different site searches. Arcane Probing found nothing. Augury found nothing. Nothing in the Silver Walls, nothing in Impassable Mountains. Unrest in Viridian City is increasing. This could be the work of enemy spies. We need to keep an eye on that. And then we have a bunch of battles. So, we're just gonna scroll through these real quick, and then if we want to go watch any specific ones, then we will. Okay. So we have a battle in Griffin Rock where we pinged just to see if they were gonna be there. They were. Got a Steelix champions and two Steelixes. We have a attack in Wellrid where we came in and crushed the forces of Saffron City, the AI forces of Saffron City, who are just being a little annoying butt faces. We got attacked in Impassable Mountains. We got attacked in Giant Spine. Lost these leftover troops from the previous attack in Three Pine Grove, I think. This is a battle we're gonna come back and watch because it's funny. The more I fight and play and fight against these Steelix champions, the more I realize that there were things about the game that I did not understand. Hence, the more I learn about the game. Right? It's crazy when you start to fight against an opponent that is far stronger than you're used to. The links that you have to go to try to figure out what can you do against that opponent. How do you beat this thing? And you start to learn a lot of different ins and outs and interesting functionalities about the game. So, but we were beaten here in Ministra. And Ministra is the province right next to Viridian City that we PD dumped when we were fighting Viridian City. Right? To great effect, mind you. So we have taken control of Omicria, met no resistance. And then in Griffin Rock, we got attacked, and we lost. And then in Kunal, we got attacked, and we won. Kinda. You may notice that we have intense losses. We kept most of our mages, which is pretty good. But all we killed was a single grunt commander. So let us watch. Let's watch Kunal first. Actually, let's go through some other. We'll go through everything and then we'll come back and watch these battles. So we had unexpected event in Titan Steppe. We got some nature gems. That's nice. Under siege in Impassable Mountains. Entrance to in Kunal is breached. And then we cured some stuff. Got some promotions. And we did not get helmet sappers because, of course, the AI, right? The AI is far more willing to pay dumb amounts of money than players are. No player was going to take helmet sappers away from us. Saffron City would, though. The AI would. So, we are sans a helmet sappers for now. Okay. Let's watch this battle in Kunal. Okay? So what we've got here is, we've got a small force, 5 of these Steelixes, okay? And we've actually got his prophet. This is the prophet of Olivine City. And our forces are arrayed. We set this up last time, right? Just in case. But we have a whole bunch of I say a whole bunch. We have a couple of different mages doing a couple of different things. We have a bunch of ranged attacks from these Amphiroses, and we actually have a bunch of attacks from these Poliwags. Not that they can necessarily do anything, but they're there. So pop! Immediately popped. So the Prophet gets popped. Unfortunately, and that was by the first volley from the Amphiroses, right? Unfortunately, it happens after he gets Divine Blessing off. So these Steelixes are blessed. But here's the thing, right? It takes a full turn. They have no leadership. They should just rout. It takes a full turn, right, for them to basically leave, okay? And in that turn, we'll notice something. Some things happened. And what's the some things? Well, this fucking Hitmonchan somehow did enough damage to harm this Steelix and send him berserk. And then someone else, I don't know who, did the same for this Steelix. Okay? So the flashing red Steelixes are the ones that have gone berserk. And they're the issue, right? And the reason why they're the issue is because we don't have enough damage to kill them. We just have enough damage to hurt them and keep pissing them off. So, these Amphiroses are going to rush forward along with our Mage Core, right? We're not getting any of the things that we really want to get, though, and we keep just nicking them barely to bringing them back. We're doing Steel Breath, we're doing Paralyze. None of that is actually really connecting or doing enough to matter, right? We're not fatiguing this guy out. This guy's fatigued out, actually. So this guy is fatigued out from the Steel Breaths, but even though he's fatigued out, he has 0 defense skill, and he only has 27 protection. He's not a Steelix champion. He doesn't have 50,000 protection, right? These Amphiroses with a 20 tackle, right, are not able to kill him. They're not able to harm him consistently enough to kill him. They're just able to, like, keep him there and keep him pissed off, right? Which is an issue. There's also something else going on, and I don't know what it is, but basically it's... Oh, well, never mind. I was gonna say, like, this could be a possibility. If we were getting... We're getting a bunch of Earth Grips, we're getting a bunch of Paralyzes and Steel Breaths. Most of these Amphiroses have been enchanted, so they are stronger than they normally would be. So there's the chance that over time, right, if we got a good string of attacks, the Amphiroses might have been able to take down these Steelixes. But in theory, right now, we're screwed, right? Our Amphiroses ran. They're the ones that were really doing the work. Our mages are now left open. But the only things that were actually hurting the Steelixes at this point are the Amphiroses. The Poliwags can't hurt the Steelixes. And we're not casting any spells that hurt the Steelixes. So what happens is a very, very weird situation as slowly but surely these Steelixes rout because we're not berserking them. Which is interesting because I actually thought I didn't know this. I did not realize that you could unberserk, right? I thought once a unit goes berserk in battle, they were just like that for the rest of the battle. End of discussion. Apparently that's not the case. And we actually hurt him right there at the end, and we had all our mages. None of our mages had died until right there at the end. He gets hurt again, and he rushes back and charges one of the battle girls and kills her. So actually, now that I think about it, it might be the Earth Grip. The Earth Grip, I think, might, like, reset. I don't know. I don't know what Rage is either, so I'm not sure. But either way, we managed to hold Kunal, which is really nice for a number of different reasons. It's not nice that we lost all of these units. It's very unfortunate that we lost all of these Amphiroses. But we kept our schoolgirls, we kept our mages, we kept the fort. And that's going to be important because we can make it to Kunal this next turn. So, in Ministra, let's go ahead and watch this battle. So in Ministra, this was a potential toss-up for me because we have a bunch of Giraffarigs. And again, we go back to the kind of like the Alakazam scenario. Giraffarigs, Psychic, Psybeam, etc. Right? In my mind, I'm sitting here going, okay, these are armor negating. They're magic resist negates, obviously, right? But in theory, I should beat his magic resistance every once in a while, right? So I should do some damage. So one, that's definitely not the case. Two, I think I have discovered what it is that it doesn't show up here, does it? Yeah, it does not. So I believe I've discovered what it is. Oh, we haven't done it yet. Never mind. Here we go. All right, so we've got a billion things flying by, but basically what we're just gonna let it run for a little while till he kills most of these things, and then we're gonna start. Okay, we should be better now. We're looking for. Aha! We're looking for these. Nope, not that one. There we go. So we're looking for these things, right? Anything that says penetration is basically a Psychic or a Psybeam. Okay? And you'll notice it's a penetration roll of 11 plus 8 versus magic resistance roll of 26 plus 15. So I've never actually gone and looked up what the penetration rules are, how penetration works, etc. Right? But basically, it is all but impossible for this group of Giraffarigs or a group of anything like these Giraffarigs to kill or seriously harm these Steelix champions. If you had maybe like 200 of them, then maybe you would get enough exploding rolls for it to matter. But otherwise, their base penetration, so it's base penetration plus a roll versus base magic resistance plus a roll. Their base penetration is so low, right? It is. This guy has 26 magic resistance. Okay, so it is a difference of 15 just straight off the bat, plus whatever is rolled, right? It's all but impossible for these Giraffarigs to consistently harm these Steelixes. So again, we go back to this point where like these Steelixes are so strong that I am actually having to like look up rules and figure out what is going on, etc., just so that I can try to understand the way they work and if there is anything that I can do against them, right? So this is really interesting stuff. It's really cool, but it is a mega pain in the ass. I will tell you that. It is incredibly difficult to deal with. But we figured it out, right? We understand that scenario. We know Giraffarigs and Alakazams and stuff like that they're not the answer. They're never going to be the answer. So I know that I know not to spend resources on them, and I know to instead use the resources that I already have in different ways. So we're actually going to be doing that. So we've got a couple of different things that we are moving around. We've got a lot of different action. We will start by looking at our spy network. We're continuing to do as we have been. Irma up here still hasn't been found by 110 enemy units. It's crazy. She is just spying her little heart out, which is, I love it. It's awesome. We're doing a great job over here in Lost Canyon as well. We're starting to get up in Forest of Gun, starting to get up in Dragonscale. We've got other spots all over the place. Okay, we are actually moving Inibel and Inavida onto Olivine City. We're going to try to double up and see how that goes. Let's take a quick look at these score graphs. So this is not going to be a very good representation, but Olavine's income is actually on the rise because Olavine's number of provinces has skyrocketed this turn. In between the raiding that they're doing with me, right? So we can see me, I'm dipping here. I'm not dipping a crazy amount, but I'm dipping, right? And then also Violet City, you can see is beginning to tank. So the combination of the two has made it to where Olivine is just skyrocketing up. So their income is also going up, but it's actually not going up that much comparatively, and that's important, right? So this is a cost-effective functionality. This is worthwhile. These are not the cheapest things on the face of the planet, but with what they are doing, I think it's very effective. I think bombing people like this is going to be a very good thing to do, and I especially think if we can get like a little factory of cat's eyes going, it's probably going to make it really, really hard for people to deal with that. Okay, so another thing you might notice though is we are moving this battle girl up here into Dindra Nigra because we need a little bit more information about what's going on here, about who these provinces belong to, right? Where's his freaking capital? There he is. So Vermilion City's right here, right? But I don't know if Vermilion City owns Swamp of Solitude or owns Dindra Nigra, and I need to know for reasons we'll discuss here in just a few. Okay, so the Saffron City section, right? What are we doing? We are moving the Pokefan moms that we have down into Omicria. Omicria is safe right now, so we're moving them in that general direction. Mostly because we want to get them down towards Cyanwood City, because that is actually safe territory. So we're trying to usher them that way slowly but surely. It's not safe to move Kathleen right now, so she is instead taking a Thistle Mace, and she's going to start casting Haruspex. I think she's casting it in Forest. Chuck is going to attack at Kunal to relieve the siege there. Urborn is going to attack in Berman Highs. Robodan is attacking in Impassable Mountains. Okay? So our goal here is to relieve the sieges for Impassable Mountains and relieve the siege for Kunal. I don't think he's going to stand and fight. Seeing these armies here, I think he's probably going to push off. But in case he's feeling frisky, right, we're going to move like we would be. There is so I'm not super worried about Robodan's army, right? There is the concern of Chuck's army not getting the Machamps in to actually deal the damage that they need to do, right? That is a concern. So we're basically taking a risk here, but it's a risk that at this point we kind of have to take. Okay, Urborn is going up because it's up into Berman Highs because it's time to start taking the fight back to Olivine City. I have a lot of resources that I'm just kind of holding on to, and I've been holding on to for a very long time. That's not going to happen anymore. We're going to start throwing people. We're going to throw bodies at his economy just like he's throwing bodies at my economy. Okay? So that's what's happening in the kind of Saffron City front. In the Viridian City front over here, right? In Kunal, we're back to researching because I don't think we're going to have to worry about it here in this turn at least. And in Viridian City itself, we're not really doing anything out of the ordinary. We're recruiting another Battle Girl Pearl and a White Belt. But everything else is mostly the same, still training, right? Except we are sending a Black Belt Go into battle at Ministra. This could be a bit of a backfire, right? If he is attacking Viridian City with this Steelix, with Shiosh, then these two will meet. And that is kind of what I am anticipating, is that he either moves here with the Steelix and attacks, or he moves down here from Kunal with this other Steelix with everybody dies and is on an attack command in Ministra, right? While Shiosh goes stealthy or something like that. What I'm basically looking for is I'm trying to find a fight between Nejdego and one Steelix champion. Because I want Nejdego to come in, and all he's doing is blessing attack rear. But I want him to come in, and I want him to scoop some eyeballs, basically. And I want to see how that works. So the eye catchers only deal 18 damage, but they are armor negating damage. Completely ignores armor. As long as he hits, he's got an attack value of 10. Not the greatest attack value, but he should hit pretty consistently, right? With his bless, he's going to have a little bit more defense, so hopefully he will not get hit constantly. He has some protection. He has some, he has luck, basically. Hopefully he stays alive. And then he's got, obviously, his Hitmonlee. The hope is that the Hitmonlee goes in while he's blessing, and distracts for like a turn or two, and then he scoops some eyeballs, and then after the eyeballs are scooped, right? The hope is that the Steelix champion will be completely unable to attack Nejdego. Now, I still don't think we probably do enough damage to actually kill him, right? And there is the concern of trample, right? So we don't have anything to deal with trample, or the chip damage from trample. So it's entirely possible that Nejdego is going to die. It's entirely likely that Nejdego is going to die. And it's entirely possible that he doesn't even find a Steelix here, that we come in here and that Olivine either PD dumps or just puts in a little bit of province defense, and that Nejdego is not strong enough to really fight that province defense. Any of those things could happen. We are taking a pretty big risk here. But the thing about it is none of this equipment is expensive for us. None of this equipment is super dangerous should it fall into the hands of Olivine City, right? I won't be thrilled if a Steelix gets kitted out in this stuff, but it's not gonna like be, oh, it's the end of the world, right? None of this is crazy important gear that ends everything, okay? And it could be an effective scenario where we basically blind the crap out of them and horribly brutalize their stats. Being blind is a very, very impairing scenario. There's still going to be God Kings that are unkillable, right? But it will make them be much less likely to be able to kill anything else. Okay? So we'll see how that goes. And then we are also attacking. We're sneaking and attacking with Umbra into Three Pine Grove. And this is just some counter rating, right? We're going to try out this scenario. I'm a little antsy about doing this because, one, this area is locked off. If we get into a fight here and it goes south, she could die because she might not have a retreating path. But also, there's Steelixes in the area. We know there are Steelixes in the area. So it's a little concerning, but we're going to do it anyways. I want to get into the habit of sneak attack, sneak attack, sneak attack, sneak attack, right? And we can do that for a little bit. And I want to kind of see how that works out. Because again, I think the new theme now is okay, he's raiding us, he's throwing the stuff at us. We've got a lot of resources. We're going to start sending those resources at him. Okay? Other than that, there's not really a whole lot going on in Viridian City. Over in Impassable Mountains, since the fort is kind of stopped up at the moment, there's not really much going on there. We're just waiting to be relieved. Everyone else is researching, etc. We're not worried. Oh, I say we're not worried about it. We're not doing anything at the fort. We're not prepping for an attack. Because basically for two real reasons. Because if they get in and they actually attack us here, we're screwed anyways, right? So I really hope it doesn't happen. But we're basically, I'm not going to go through the trouble of scripting everything in Impassable Mountains because there's nothing that we can do to save Impassable Mountains if a Steelix gets in there, right? It's like a fox in the hen house, right? Once it's in, you're done, right? So Robodan is the answer to that situation. Yazar is heading back to Cyanwood City. Because hopefully pretty soon we are going to have another round of units to be able to send off. We want to try to get around 40 or so. I say 40 or so. He can only really lead 40. So he actually needs to get back, and he needs to get a little bit of training. I say a little bit of training. Yeah, I say a little bit of training. Yeah, absolutely. He needs to go back, and he needs to set up in the Poke School. Because this is another thing that I keep not doing, is sending out or putting leaders into the lower versions of the schools so that they can get some experience too, because that's a worthwhile endeavor. Okay. So what else are we doing? We are moving a bunch of people around. Basically, we're moving a bunch of commanders around to do a bunch of different things. So we are moving some black belts out with little flying raiding parties. Again, these guys are probably going to get sniped by remote assassination spells. They are not stealthy. They're not going to be able to stealth afterwards. So they're probably going to get sniped, and that'll be that. I have them with Pokeballs to kind of like boost up their abilities. We'll see how it goes. I don't think that it's really going to make the difference, but who knows? But these are resources that are costing us money, and we're not using them, and they're not going to be the answer. They're not going to be this answer of, oh, okay, we'll win if we just wait for 10 more turns and we send 30 Hitmonlees at a Steelix, they'll kick him down. No, that's never going to happen. So we're going to start using the resources, and if we lose them, if they die, it's not a loss for us. It's not a loss for us if we send them out and they die. That means, sure, we don't have those units anymore, but we don't have those units anymore. We don't pay for those units. So we're going to start sending those out. We're also sending out stuff like this. We're sending out some sneaking attacks. These ones, if they're sneakers, we're not going to put Pokeballs on them because I'm not worried about remote assassinations then, in theory. But this is a very, very big pile of units that we're actually, if I'm remembering correctly, we're sending here into Dathan. And we're going to send them into Dathan because we're probably going to pick up a bunch more. And we're probably going to keep heading south this way and go attack some places. And again, we're going to try to do damage to Olivine City. He's fucking raiding me. I'm going to start raiding him. So we've got Falco here is moving down south. He's going to try to jump over this way and see if he can't make it into here. If I have to pop into Vermilion City's territory to do so, I will probably do so. If not, I might just, if I don't want to do that, I might just pop up here and then pop this way. Right? Then Dolgod is heading up into Omicria, and he's going to start bouncing around doing stuff up here. Okay? What else is happening? That's mostly the troop movement stuff. Okay, we are also doing a bunch of lightless lanterns, owl quills, right? We're going kind of back to that scenario. We produced a bunch of gear. Now we're going to see how that gear works out. So instead, we're producing a crap ton of lightless lanterns. I think we're doing 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 owl quills. 1, 2, yeah. So a bunch of research materials. I want to get up to the point to where we have basically all of the assistant researchers outfitted, and then it's a matter of every time we know we're going to produce another researcher, we want to produce an owl quill and a lightless lantern. I'm also considering getting to the point to where I might make an ally. Like I might talk to Atlantis and be like, okay, hey, Atlantis, do you want some lightless lanterns, right? You know, give me X, do this for me, attack Olivine City, I'm just like, calling in the cavalry. I will buy people with lightless lanterns, potentially. We'll see how it goes. And then I'm also forging a robe of the sea down here. Now, this was actually kind of a rough turn for me with Cameron the photographer. I wanted to do a bunch of other stuff, but mainly because of astral pearl constrictions, I couldn't, right? I could, but then I'm putting stuff off for more turns. So we're forging a robe of the sea because we know we would like that in the long term, and it is a water 3 requirement. So the only other person that can really do it right now is Venna, which is probably a better idea for her to... Jesus. Oofles. Oofledy doofledies. I should just be researching with Cameron. Actually, you know what? I say that. It's too late. This turn's already sent in, and I can't change it. So Cameron is producing a robe of the sea just because I was basically looking for something that Cameron can do, because I have to wait on astral pearls. Next turn, we are going to have stellar focus available. We will have 20 pearls. I will probably be alchemizing death gems into pearls, or I might alchemize fire or water gems into pearls, but it's probably going to be death gems because I don't even have access to death right now. So I'm probably going to alchemize those into pearls and immediately cast stellar focus next turn with Cameron. So hopefully that means we're going to... I hope we can keep stellar focus. No one else really has any enchantments right now, but they might turn around and just be like, nope, not a chance. But we'll see. So that is basically what's going on. We got a couple of other movements here. Irma's still moving around, site searching, etc. Still preaching in different areas. It's gotten to the point to where... Let's take a look at some of the pretenders real quick. So Cerulean's defeated... Cinnabar is defeated. Viridian is defeated. Saffron is AI, basically defeated. Ekrutique has been staling repeatedly. I believe Goldenrod has been staling repeatedly as well, right? Atlantis is attacking Ekrutique. We got a whole lot of information on that. Pewter City has been in... I think Pewter City is the one who beat Cinnabar. So that just happened. Pewter City is huge and doing amazing. Vermilion City is just to the south of us. I don't know that they're actually in any sort of combat, but they're small and they're kind of pinched in, or hemmed in. Celadon City is actually doing decently well for themselves. They seem to be in a pretty okay spot. Azalea, I think, is very small. Violet City is starting to die. Let's take a look at the score graphs real quick. So, was it Celadon? Yeah, Celadon's middle of the pack with me. Violet, it's funny. Violet is dropping, but Violet is still... Violet's still higher than me in number. He had so many provinces. I wonder if he's going to be able to get back into things. I really do wonder. So Vermilion's way down here. We have Azalea's right there. So Azalea and Vermilion are the next smallest, aside from Saffron, which I might... If I can just have 3 turns to have Olivine piss off, I'll just kill Saffron and get the AI out of the way. But right now I don't have that option. So, anything else to really look at? We were so good. We were so good. I'm so sad, but I'm sad that we're experiencing these losses. I'm sad that this opponent is so incredibly strong, but I'm actually really intrigued. I'm having a good time trying to figure out what's going on, what we can do, etc. I think honestly the next leg is to get into golems and start producing golems and having golem thugs. I think a golem thug that is fully kitted out can stand up against a Steelix champion. The only issue to that being that is a Steelix champion fully kitted out can probably stand up to a golem thug just as easily, if not better. But in theory, if we can research-wise, why do I keep clicking that? Research-wise, I'm doing significantly better, right, than Olivine is. So if we can get there, if we can get to, and we can very quickly, just a couple turns, get to golem construction, we can start popping out golems and hopefully have very good answers. And after the golems, I'm legitimately considering just rushing. I need to grab some thaumaturgy and some evocation, probably 5 on each. But then I'm legitimately just considering rushing all the way up Conjuration to Kings of Elemental Earth. Because that's like the next big thing that I can grab, and I know I can grab, and I probably need to make sure that I grab them before he can grab them, because he's the other big Earthcaster in this game that could absolutely do it. So we'll see how it goes. I think that's probably it for the turn. We've got an exciting couple turns ahead of us. I think I said this the last 10 turns, but the next 10 turns are going to be really big. They're going to be really interesting. I'll see you next time. Peace.